Hey folks, and welcome into the Truck King YouTube channel. I am here right now in Las Vegas with Nissan to check out their SEMA builds. Every year manufacturers put together wild, custom, one-off builds for the SEMA show, and Nissan has some cool ones including this, the Nissan Armada Dune Patrol, and right now I'm going to show you everything you need to know about it. So let's take a closer look at this thing now, the Nissan Dune Patrol. And again, they're just trying to show off what the Armada could be if you spend some money and time on it. And what's cool is that, yes, this obviously went to a custom off-road shop and they spent a lot of hours building it, but a customer could feasibly do this. This is still a stock powertrain, and that's where stock basically ends. That's a set of 37-inch tires there, and in behind a full set of Bilstein suspension, all fully adjustable as well, dual remote reservoirs, one over here, one over there. Now the actual wheelbase has been stretched out too. They moved this front tire about an inch forward so it would clear the firewall to make sure that those 37s would actually work. And yes, the name Dune Patrol, that's a tie-in to the Nissan Patrol, which is the name of this SUV in world markets. Now Patrol and Armada are now the same thing, but yeah, that's a little nod to that too. Now up top, you can see full Nismo roof rack, all the cool storage bins up there. Got your water pack on the side with a nice steel molly panel. Now these rear doors are custom. Look how wide they are. Look how recessed that handle is. And you can see it on this view right here. There's sort of the regular door, and that's how much wider they had to make it, which is gives it a really beefy look. And then these rear fenders all custom too. In the back also those custom, or those 37-inch tires I should say, 16 inches of suspension travel, which is also incredibly impressive. Now we do have full-size spare and match tracks over here on this steel rack, which opens up like so to let you into the back. And another thing they did over here is they put onboard air here, so you have an onboard air compressor. You can air up right there on the trail, which is nice. You might have also noticed too the bumpers here. That's a real steel bumper. These things are properly beefy. Same coming around the sides. I also like the little lights too up on that Nismo rack, just to help light up all around the vehicle, especially if you're out at night. And then a few little interior touches like those steel molly panels and these Nissan rear seat holders, or another storage bags right there. Finally, back up the front, I should show you some nice little Nismo pod lights up top as well. So guys, what do you think? Nissan, when they come to SEMA, just like every other brand, they put these builds together because they want feedback. They want to hear from customers. And we know we just got the Armada Pro 4X, but do you think they should take it further? I personally think this thing is pretty cool. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Nissan is going to pay attention to those too. And I actually got a chance to catch up with one of the head product planners for Nissan North America to talk to him about how important the SEMA show is. So Ponce, thanks so much for having me down to SEMA to see these cool Nissan builds. I think SEMA's always been sort of a test bed for manufacturers, right? Can you speak to that, how important it is to come to this show for Nissan and just try out new ideas, and talk a little bit about the ideas you're trying out this year?
Sure. So usually SEMA's been a place where we tried out funky accessories, one-off test cars, etc. In fact, with another OEM, the first time I was in SEMA was all the way back in like 2003, so I've been here for a long time. Now, what SEMA does for us is it allows us to play with the extremes. Vehicles that you can't take to a normal car show because the audience is not, it's much more mainstream, but you get really the ultimate enthusiasts who come into shows like this. So if you want to test the extreme limits of what a particular vehicle can do, then this is the place to come and try it out. Mm-hmm. So the one that the car I'm standing in front of here is a classic example. So we reinvented the Armada. It was very much a suburban grocery getter, making big Costco run type vehicles. And now we fully commonized that vehicle with the Nissan Patrol that we sell in the Middle East. So the level of capability, the level of execution now is completely different from its predecessor. But it's still a very on-road urban vehicle that is going to be used for adventure trips, long vacations, etc. But it's not exactly Baja, or Paris-Dakar capable. Mm-hmm. So we want to play with the limits of what can we do to these vehicles to really push the envelopes, and what you see behind me is really pushing that envelope. of what happens if you make this an ultimately capable off-road vehicle using the same hardware that the standard vehicle has, the same powertrain as a standard vehicle, but adding the other suspension elements, the wheels, the tires, and other capability. And let's see how it gets received. And notice that we're calling this the Dune Patrol. It's based on an Armada, but we want to draw the link into the Patrol that we sell in the Middle East,
Right.
that's used to go on sand dunes and do off-road excursions all the time.
Cool. Speaking of SUVs and trucks, especially in the off-road space, we know that these owners love to customize their vehicles. So can you speak to just how important, Nismo accessories are in North America, and how big of a part of your business is that, just straight up on the accessory and after sales side?
Sure. So Nismo is more than just accessories. So we haven't been very consistent. If I have to be totally honest, we haven't been consistent with what Nismo stands for as a brand over time. And we're getting very serious about this. So the last few years, what we do with Nismo GTR, Nismo Z is very authentic, very credible, and it's the ultimate in performance. So we have the on-road side of Nismo very clearly defined. Where we struggle a bit is the off-road part of Nismo. What does an off-road Nismo look like? Do you take an off-road vehicle and lower it to the ground because it can go fast, or do you make it the ultimate off-roader? So we're playing with a couple different studies there. Here's the classic example. The pickup truck also that you see out there is the ultimate off-roader, where speed does matter. So it's not really about rock climbing and bouldering so much, but speed and performance in an off-road condition. Now the accessories play a big role once you build what Nismo stands for. So once people know that the Nismo version will be the ultimate performance, maybe somebody wants just the wheels, maybe they want just the lift kit, maybe they want another look nice accessory that they can put on their Armada that barely goes off-road. So once we test and prove what Nismo stands for and see how it gets received, the entire accessory line will get developed, and that's what Kim Less and her team do.
Cool. So then finally, of all the builds here, do you have a favorite? Is there one that stands out to you? Could you pick one? Or is that like picking one of your children?
No, I do have an absolute favorite.
Okay.
It is the QX80R version.
Okay.
The reason I love this so much is I'm a big GTR fan. I've owned a couple of them in my life, and I think it's a superb road racing car. And you take the premium brand, in fact, the ultimate expression of our premium brand, the QX80, and then take the most mythical powertrain that we've ever built, the QX80, and you fuse the two. It just started off as a hallway conversation with the three of us, and I basically told the team, let's just do it. I'll find the car and find the money for you. And a small team just led it and made it happen.
Nice.
And what you see there is something completely unexpected, both from Nissan and from Infiniti as a brand. And I think it's going to bring a whole lot of new intenders into the Infiniti brand.
Cool. It seems to me some of the best stories we get in automotive are when it's a small group of dedicated people that make these things happen. So that's really cool, man.
That's so true. Strip out the bureaucracy and
get it
build
done.
cool cars.
Yeah, exactly. I appreciate that. Well, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you, Stephen. Pleasure.
And we have to take a closer look at this. This is an actual Nissan Patrol, 1990. This one is put together by Forsberg Racing. This is the Y60 generation of Patrol. But under the hood, this is certainly not stock. This is over 1,000 horsepower from a 4.8 liter inline six, turbocharged, the legendary TB48. Looks just unbelievable. Routed up through the hood there. And then all the off-road stuff is here too. You're getting the Nismo lights up front, steel front bumper, 37-inch tires. The thing that strikes me is the size of this thing compared to an Armada or even a Patrol today. It's so much smaller. It's going to be so much lighter. It just feels like the right size to actually take off-road and go fly through the desert. It is right-hand drive, which is pretty cool. Love those straight 90s gauges. 5-speed manual over there. You can see the 4x4 control down there. All the old controls are just so cool to see now. No touchscreens here. All buttons, dials, knobs, and switches, which we appreciate at Truck King. So yeah, it's a very cool build here, and just another example of what can be done with a classic Patrol. And now we can check out this one. This is the Nissan Rapid Runner concept. This has been put together for paddlers. If you love whitewater paddling, getting out in your kayak, this is the build for you. So Chris, I just got a chance to kind of pour over the Rapid Runner. This is a cool build, man. Why don't we start with what's going on underneath with the suspension and the axles, because I understand it's from a Titan, is that right?
Correct. So myself and my co-host Eric Smart, we sat there and we went through the truck front to back. Eric did all the mechanical side of the truck, so all the suspension, and that's exactly what it is. Cool. It's a Titan swap underneath.
Right.
And yeah.
Yeah, anything with the powertrain, or that stayed stock?
The powertrain stayed stock. We did do a carbon fiber cold air intake and a carbon fiber snorkel, all Nismo products.
Cool.
Other than that, we kept it as simple as possible because we wanted to put as much into the doors as possible and the rest of the vehicle as well.
Sure. I guess then from a builder's perspective, talk to me about the Frontier, working with the truck, how easy it was, what your biggest challenges were, anything like that that kind of came up along the way.
Honestly, biggest challenge was time. So we had
like usual.
Yeah, we had a month and a half from the time they said go to the time that it was picked up.
Okay.
In there, I had to do the doors. Eric had to do the entire suspension work on there. We had to shoot all the episodes for this build as well.
Okay, right.
And then do a payoff for it.
Right.
So we were running through walls left, right, and center.
Right.
It was fun.
And I could sympathize with that, because it's one thing to be like, you got to build it quickly, but it's another thing to say, oh, we have to shoot the entire process along the way. Most people don't think that adds a lot of time, but it adds so much time.
Oh yeah, like when I was doing the doors, like I'd sit there and we would shoot during the day, and I'd work till about 1 o'clock in the morning, just either sanding or shaping metal or whatever.
Right.
So it was a lot of work.
Speaking of the doors, why don't you show me the doors and
Sure.
just talk me through what you did here, because they're cool.
All right. So when Nissan first came to us, they're like, we want tube doors. And I'm like, okay, cool. The easiest way is just going to be take the window line here. So this is roughly where the original window would have ended. And then I was just going to bring it down to here, because this is roughly where the intrusion bar is in the stock door.
Okay.
And we did that, and we were chatting, we were going back and forth. And they're like, yeah, we want more taken out. I'm like, okay. So what I ended up doing was I sat there, the original door seam comes right up the center and then down along there, and I was chatting with our paint and body guy, Brian Allen, and I'm like, what's the best way to do this? He's like, well, what I would do is I'd fill this in, like weld in rod, grind it down, use some body filler, bring it all up, and then we'll prime it, paint it, and go from there. So like I said, from here over is what's left of the original doors, even around the top, and then down the back. And then after that, I just hammered and dollied all the sheet metal for this on all the doors, really.
Right.
Formed it all, designed all the hinges, and then after this, really the hinges, the actual design work stopped. And from there, like the tubes and everything else like that, I would just, simplicity's sake, 'cause I had to make time. So, top bar is going to be flat, bottom bar, how are we going to do this? Well, you want to be able to see your tires, you want to have as much visibility as possible. Okay, so let's kick it up like this.
Right.
So it was a lot of just, I call it listening to the vehicle, like how do you want this done? How can I get this to be aesthetically pleasing? And anyway, I just sat there, did all that, and then we sat there, put all the original door seals back in just to make time, and then where your window actually rides, like all in through here, we just used spray foam.
Okay.
Spray foam, and then just trimmed it to fit. After that, that was it. The other thing that we had to then dive into, because I was so focused on the doors, it's just like I didn't think about mirrors. And
Sure. Yeah.
And our producer's just like, Chris, this is going on the road.
You
So
need a mirror, yeah.
yeah. So anyway, we just sat there and just kept it very simple, very utilitarian, flat plate, and they just bent it all up so that even our snorkel support is all into one.
Right.
And then we just rocked and rolled from there.
Huh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So then, safe to say, if this was something they wanted to bring out for consumers, it wouldn't just be the door. You'd need something for the A pillar, something for the B pillar to kind of fill it in.
Oh yeah. But I think the seed's planted, and if they wanted to go with it,
Right.
they have the ability to sit there and go, okay, guys, we need to redo our doors. How are we going to do this? And so on and so forth. But that's their ball to handle.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Fair. That's very cool, man.
Yeah,
And then how
thank you.
about the bed? You can show me what's going on back here. I noticed the deck system inside. That's just so handy to have when you're trying to store this amount of stuff, right?
Oh yeah. So this system here is actually left over from last year. So last time this was at SEMA, it was here as Rapid Runner. And it had Trailgater, that's right. Thank you. And so as soon as they were like, we want you to do some sort of kayaking style truck, we're like, we're leaving the deck system in there.
Cool.
It's a blessing.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so
it makes total sense.
we just left it there. We have the big storage unit underneath, so all your paddles and stuff like that, if you don't want to put them on the outside, you can put them on the inside. And then just your individual.
Slide out too.
Yeah. And like actually when we were doing our payoff, like I was grilling off the back and all that other cool stuff as well. So
Cool.
this is very handy to have.
Yeah. And then finally, you got to talk to me about the shower over here, because that's
Yeah.
just neat, man.
Yeah, so this is just a portable shower that Nismo has. It's powered, so once you fill it up, you turn it on,
Okay.
and then it just pumps the water through.
And that's it. That's the water tank right there too.
That's the
all
water
up there?
tank right
Okay.
there.
It's not
So
an
I
accessory
actually,
tank or something.
I got a couple builds that I kicking around in my mind. I'd like to get one of these and just see how else I can implement it into a build.
Right.
Because on the back it looks like you can plumb into it. I don't know if you can.
Yeah.
I've been so focused on getting the vehicle done.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's there so you can rinse your kit off, all that other good stuff
Sure.
as well.
Well, that's it for this one, folks. And like I mentioned, Nissan is paying attention to these comments. So if you really like something you saw in one of these builds, drop in the comments, let me know and let Nissan know, and you just might see it come into production. So yeah, that's it for this one. While you're down below leaving us that comment, don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe, hit join to become a member, and then come right back here to Truck King and see what we're testing next. See ya.